Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
Wow. We obtained some video that is shocking. We told you about
Sean Lowe,
the Bachelor star, who was attacked by his rescue dog, a boxer. Man, we just got this video, and does it paint a picture?
It really shows exactly what Sean was going through in battling this dog, because remember what happened was he had been attacked. His smoke alarm went off one day.
Triggered the dog.
And triggered the dog. The dog attacks him. Sean goes to the hospital, gets 20 stitches. The next day, they have the dog, that was Moose, his boxer, in the backyard, away from Sean, away from the family, while they were waiting for the rescue agency to come back and pick it up. Somehow, Moose got out of the backyard and went after Sean again. So what you're seeing now is the body cam footage when police and paramedics and the dog catchers showed up trying to get this dog away from Sean. As the video starts, Sean is laying on top of Moose and desperate not to be bitten again.
Well, I know you're holding on to him, but I'm trying to check where you are.
Okay, wait, he's trying. Hold on. You gotta do something quick. Come on, guys, come on. He's gonna try to get me if he gets up.
Sean, you're gonna have to get away and run away. Sylvia, you're gonna have to get away. Okay. You have to back
Tell me when
Here.
he's gonna pop up as soon as I take my body weight off of him.
Ready? Sean, we're gonna pull you out.
Hold on, guys. We're gonna do this.
I'm gonna pull him back.
I'll try.
Sean, you ready?
I'm good.
You ready?
I'm good.
All right.
He's sliding. Taser ready. Go. He's sliding.
Wow.
So the police had to use their taser. Animal control, you see, had a leash around the dog's collar, and they eventually do get Sean away safely and walk the dog off. And it is now, the last we heard, is in police custody. Sean really wants to get the dog back to the rescue agency. He does not want the animal to be destroyed, despite the fact that 2 days in a row he was attacked this way. He understands that there was some trigger here, but boy, the struggle, wow. He had his full weight on the dog, and it wasn't enough.
Feel it.
Yeah, and you know, Sean had said that he doesn't blame the dog. You know, clearly the dog had some kind of traumatic thing that had happened. You know, Sean and his family only had the dog for about 3 months, and they posted a lot of loving videos and photos of Moose, like you know, having dreams where he's like whimpering in his dreams, and he just looks like the sweetest dog. And to be honest with you guys, as someone that watched the full video yesterday when we got it in, as an animal lover, it's really hard to watch this because you see the dog kind of like, he's like blacked out a little bit in this, because you see him still trying to bite as Sean is pinning him down. But then they, you know, like you mentioned, they tase the dog. And then at that point, you see the dog kind of coming to his senses, like, what just happened? What happened to me?
Yeah, a lot of times it takes over the animal. I mean, I have had an experience like this, and it really is heartbreaking. You know, I will say this, that, you know, if you're watching this and you think, oh my God, I never rescue a dog or get a rescue. Look, you know, you don't know what that dog went through. If you're adopting from a shelter, you don't know necessarily from certain organizations. But the win is if you can find an animal that got fostered. Yeah. And that at least the foster family can say to you, you know, Eric in the back fosters dogs. Yeah. And, you know, does the dog get along with kids? How is the dog with adults? Can you play with the dog? Does the dog snap? All of these things, get along with other animals. And, you know, there's a checklist almost that you can go through.
So if you're going to rescue a dog, you can ask them, the rescue agency, has the dog been fostered?
That's right.
And you can go to agencies that make sure that happens.
That's right.
Before the dog goes home. So.
Yeah.
This is Jess. I'm calling from Vegas, and this body cam footage is just heartbreaking. It's terrifying to see how it escalated, and I'm sure it was traumatizing. This is a pet owner's worst nightmare. I admire Sean for handling it with such empathy. He's still advocating for Moose, his dog. And aggressive behavior in pets can sometimes be linked to trauma or even health issues. So I hope they can figure out what caused it. Incidents like this just remind us how unpredictable animals can be and how important it is to stay under pressure. I'm just glad that he's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
We are going to move on.
Yes. To something that we did think was predictable. That
you think this is predictable?
I thought it was predictable that that if 50 Cent felt one way, or if Diddy felt one way, 50 Cent would feel the other way.
Yeah, that's predictable.
That's predictable. Well, guess what? That is not the case now. 50 Cent on the same page as Diddy when it comes to Kanye West.
This is the same 50 Cent who is doing a documentary on Diddy.
Yes.
Whose purpose in life, it seems to be...
to take down Diddy.
That's right.
But you know that Kanye West and Diddy had a phone conversation, some of which ended up in that song that Ye released. Well, one of the things that Diddy said in that conversation was, try to smile more, Ye. Get back to making hits. Stop with all the controversy, the anti-Semitism, the taking shots at everyone in the entertainment industry, which is all he's been doing for the last 2 days. But one of the things he said caught 50 Cent's eye. So one of the things Ye posted, and we're not even going to get into the nitty-gritty of what he said, but said something really awful about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids. 50 Cent saw it and basically said, chill, you shouldn't be doing that. What he did yesterday was repost what Ye had said to him. So this is confusing. Ye put it on X, and then 50 Cent saw it and put it on his Instagram. Ye's post said, 50, I said Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids are blank. Let's make the hot water boiling hot, or like people say, broiling hot. So at first, 50 Cent posted that, and you're like, why would he repeat what Ye said about Beyonce?
I don't have an answer to that.
Kids. Here's the answer, because he was actually calling out Kanye and saying, just chill, man. He said, as much as I don't want to agree with Diddy on anything, just smile, Ye. And blank them all, man. Bully out now. And he even did a promo for Ye's new album.
See,
so,
here's where I don't understand this. It's like,
why would 50 Cent even wade into this?
What does 50 Cent think he's going to do? Kanye's going to say, oh my God, you're right.
Because,
no.
Because above all, when there's one thing that everybody is talking about on social media, 50 Cent will find a way in. And since Kanye actually called him out in one of the tweets, that was his,
right, but I mean,
his way in.
What are you expecting from Kanye West, from somebody saying, we want to knock some sense into you? Okay, I see the light. I mean, no.
You can't knock him for even trying.
I think this really says that
like
no one wants to see Kanye act like this. You know, even.
But you're not going to change it. You're not going to change it.
He deleted his tweets. He doesn't have those tweets that 50 Cent reposted.
You think Kanye has seen the light?
Because of no,
I don't think he's seen the light, but maybe the high has come down a little bit. You know, like some clarity has happened right now, and 50 Cent
look at what's going
is
on
the
with
bridge.
his ex-wife.
To that point, look, he has taken down the posts that were talking about Jay and Beyonce's kids, right? So he's taken them down, and I get your point that he said it and it's out there and will always live there. But you can't knock the people who are around him for even trying. I get your point that it's not going to be effective. 50 Cent has all the powers, all
the troll magical powers in the world to really explode this thing even further, but he didn't. So, you got to give him credit for that.
Here's my argument about it. Here's my argument against giving him credit for that. That if you engage him, then he engages you.
Right.
And then it becomes a media thing, and Kanye gets oxygen for whatever he wants to say. And who's the winner and the wiser as a result of that? So when you go down the road and just give him that megaphone again, each time you do it, what are you really doing?
Well, you're really making an argument against us ever doing another Ye story.
I kind of am.
Are you going to stick to that?
No.
Probably not.
So I'm Robert out of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, what I think is that 50 Cent understands, just like Diddy, that Kanye has already put himself in hot water once before. So rather than to see Kanye get put in the hot seat, they show some genuine concern for Kanye. Like you said, especially in this situation. And even though 50 and Diddy seem like enemies, there is some level of camaraderie there.
We lost you.
No.
We just lost.
There is no camaraderie.
No camaraderie.
Trust.
No camaraderie.
Have knowledge of this.
Yes.
There's no camaraderie.
We know. We're taking a break.
All right. When we come back, Donald Trump and a third term. This is gaining some steam. There are a lot of people thinking there are ways he can do this. We're going to go through the ways, and we're actually going to talk to one of the people who's really the author of the playbook here on how Donald Trump could get a third term. It used to be something that that Donald Trump joked about on the campaign trail, the possibility of a third term. And there have been comedians who made jokes about it. There have been other Republican politicians who've sort of jokingly referred to it. It's no longer a joke, and it's being mentioned by people who have the president's ear. And it sounds like there actually is a movement to make this happen.
There's some kind of a plan that was revealed on News Nation this week where Chris Cuomo was interviewing Steve Bannon. And here's what went down.
I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028.
You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that.
A couple of alternatives. The word couple is so important there because there's one way of doing it, which is amending the Constitution, which we'll get into in a minute. But what's the second or the third way?
Yeah, what are all these options? And there's something about the way you said we are working on it.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Harvey, you got into this a little bit more on your podcast with Mark Garagos, Two Angry Men. You guys had former Congressman Jason Chaffetz on to talk about this.
I had a second option that I think might be in Steve Bannon's head.
If Donald Trump says, I feel like it is within my duty to stay in office, it's almost like declaring martial law because I'm saving the country.
I think it's this wild hypothetical that is, this is literally day 90 of the Trump administration, version 2, the Trump 47. So I think we're way out ahead of our skis on this one.
Are we?
Are we? That's interesting that he would just say it. I mean, I think you
believe me, that didn't end with with what Jason said.
Yes,
we went on.
You should check out the whole podcast because it went on for a while.
I do not believe
I don't see how,
that's wild hypothetical.
Yeah, I don't see how you can say we're way out over our skis when there is an actual group that is, as to use Bannon's term, working on it. And in fact, they've kind of created the playbook for this. Shane Trejo is joining us right now. He is one of the authors of the Third Term Project, something that came up at the last CPAC, and he is joining us right now. Shane, welcome to TMZ Live.
Happy to be here.
Appreciate it. So you are starting a Third Term Project less than 3 months into the second term. How are you projecting that far ahead to say he's not going to finish what he's already started?
Well, I think it's just, getting as much time to get this through as possible. Right now there is a constitutional amendment, a resolution that's been proposed by Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee. So we want to build support for that, get more Republicans to support it, eventually move on to bipartisan support. So we're working on it from day one. We think that Trump's going to be able to do a lot. He's already done a lot, with Doge and everything that's going on over this second term. But to have a third term, similar to the way FDR did, that's going to be able to change the trajectory of the country for generations to come. So we want to give the public the option to do that, and the way to do that is by amending the Constitution.
So, Shane, I know you say you're starting the work on it now, because obviously, it is an incredibly difficult uphill battle to amend the Constitution that way.
It requires two-thirds of the Congress, 3/4 of the state legislatures,
right?
Shane, that's not going to happen. I mean, you're not going to, with the way the country's split, you're never going to get 3/4 of the states and 2/3.
I almost feel like we should take that off the table. And I would imagine that in your planning for this third term, you would have to take that off the table and realize, okay, if that's not going to work, which it most likely will not, what's our plan B and C? And that's what we're trying to figure out.
Which is what Bannon referred to.
Right.
I know that there's legal theorists out there who have talked about different ways that President Trump could potentially get a third term, workarounds or different interpretations of the 22nd Amendment. We're more focused on doing the groundwork and the grassroots to get as much pressure to amend the Constitution as possible. So we're building that foundation. We're definitely open to hearing exploring other theories, though.
So play the game with me here, because I would bet my house there is no way you're going to get the votes for the 22nd Amendment. If I'm right, and Steve Bannon is talking about other options, it seems to me, especially watching the way everything played out in 2020, that Donald Trump could well try and say, look, I'm declaring martial law, that the country is in trouble, and I am not going to leave office for the good of the country, and I run the military, and no court's going to tell me not to, and Congress can say whatever they want, but I am staying in office, and we will not have an election. Is that crazy talk?
I mean, I can't speak for President Trump or Steve Bannon. I've, not talked at length with Steve Bannon about what he is trying to do. I don't think that there's going to be a martial law type situation. 100%, our organization is all about giving the people a choice. We don't want President Trump to assume power or elections to be suspended. We want the people to have the choice to be able to give him a third term. So that's not something that we support. We don't anticipate those things happening. I know a lot of what liberals have said. They've fantasized about Trump, being an authoritarian. I think that most of what he's trying to do is decentralize power and take power away from Washington, D.C. and give it to the people. So I don't anticipate him taking authoritarian measures, martial law or anything like that.
You have heard that he's talking about defying, he hasn't squarely said it, but they're saying we don't want these local judges, as he put it, these federal judges, getting in the way of the president's agenda. So he's adjacent to that right now.
We'd argue that what the judges are the ones taking unlawful authority, trying to stop illegal immigrants from being sent back and doing everything they can to usurp power, the constitutional authority of the president. So that'll play out.
Birthright citizenship, that the courts are off on that?
Definitely. I mean, if you look at all the demographics and how they've changed throughout
I'm looking at the Constitution, not the demographics.
Well, you should look at the demographics because
you should have the Constitution.
The Constitution is what
look at the Constitution
much longer.
You should look at the Constitution. It's way older, by the way, and it's our foundation.
Are there any loopholes, Shane, that you guys are looking at that you see as loopholes in the 22nd Amendment that would allow the president to make his way back to the White House for a third time?
Nothing that we see. I mean, we're open for any sort of conversation, but we believe that amending the Constitution and building a groundswell for that is the best way to go about this.
So assuming that fails, you're fine with President Trump ending his term and that's it. And he walks away, leaves office. That's what you would support, right?
Well, we would definitely, like I said, we'd be open to hearing any sort of legal interpretations. We have not talked with Steve Bannon about that yet, but we look forward to engaging with anyone who is open to the idea. And right now, our efforts are focused around supporting Representative Ogle's amendment in Tennessee and making sure there's as much support around that as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Shane.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. What Steve Bannon said on Chris Cuomo's show should alarm everybody.
I just want to throw one thing out.
And again, it has nothing to do with who you support, but the idea of saying there are other, it's about democracy.
Yeah.
It's about democracy. And
well, I guess the Democratic thing would be if their attempt to amend the Constitution worked, if it passed, then that's democracy.
So be it. But
if it doesn't, that's also democracy.
If he's got a plan B and a plan C,
that's not democracy.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Taking a break.
All right. When we come back, Selena Gomez drops a new record. Well, Selena and her fiance, Benny Blanco, I think they are purposely trying to take us into the bedroom with them, and they do it often on this album.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Justin Timberlake made Portland kids' dream come true by joining a bike bus ride. And they always listen to Justin Timberlake.
Cry me a river when they fall. Yeah.
It's TMZ.
Well, Selena Gomez is borrowing a phrase from my favorite baseball team, Cowboy Up. That's for you, Boston. And you know that I'm joking because I do not like the Red Sox.
I was wondering.
But yes, Cowboy is the lead single from her new album. Actually, it is an album she did with her fiance, Benny Blanco. He is the producer, and the name of the album is I Said I Love You First. So very clearly this was their...
Shade on Justin, maybe?
No, I think it's them speaking to each other saying I Said I Love You First.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
No, I read somewhere today they said it was shade on Justin.
Really?
I read that.
Huh.
I'm not sure why.
I don't know either. I'm not going to pretend to know. But I will tell you this. This song, Cowboy, and the album, other songs, are very revealing about their sex lives. They're engaged to be married, and they want you to know
everything.
Just how happy they are at home. Listen to the Cowboy. Those are the cleanest lyrics we could play.
She really is
more. It's more graphic in other places.
She's almost like saying, "Okay, Sabrina, it's your move." I mean, that's what it feels like to me, kind of.
Sabrina
Carpenter.
Oh.
No, Selena's always been a little bit edgy, but these lyrics are the most aggressive lyrics of Selena. But she's always been like a little bit sexual in her lyrics. You just have to like find the undertones in it, and
these aren't even undertones.
These are not undertones.
What's the part about his heart?
No, I was saying you used to have to find the undertone. This one, she's just putting it all out there right now. Like, these are intense lyrics, and you guys played the cleanest, and I'm obsessed with the other one that we can't say on TV, but they're good lyrics, Charles.
Hey, Courtney, what happened there? Did you get an answer?
Charles?
No, I just noticed you have a splint on.
Yeah,
Courtney,
I was playing
her
tennis
wrist
and
was hurting
something
earlier
popped in it. I was playing tennis. I'm athletic, Charles, and something popped.
Well, you can't be
so
that
I had to go
athletic.
get x-rays.
Hang on a second, Mr. Pickleball, hamstring injury.
It was,
we'll go throwing
thing.
stones.
It was a whole
Mr.
thing.
Glasshouse.
Hi, my name is Anisha Adams. I'm from New York. So this is a side of Selena Gomez that we haven't seen. And to be honest, I like it. I feel like she's finally saying, whatever, I don't care what people think. I'm doing me. And people constantly put her in this category related to Disney Channel and her relationship with Justin Bieber. But they don't understand that she's human. She's evolving. She's growing. And if any other artist can do it, why can't she?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely can, and she's going to be really. It's actually a good song. I kind of like it.
You like it?
I like this. I like the tune. Yeah, don't you?
Not my speed, but
I kind of like it.
We have different tastes.
Okay, we are going to move on.
Yes.
This is really.
Really emotional video from Kate Cassidy, Liam Payne's girlfriend, who was with him just the day before she left Argentina. Remember, the day before.
Were they engaged? I'm trying
to remember. I think they were.
I think they were engaged.
Yeah, I do think they were. They were certainly living together in Florida.
And she was in Buenos Aires.
And she was. And she left the day before he died.
Right.
So we haven't heard a lot from her, but she is clearly still going through a lot several months after Liam's death. And she posted this video as she's going through some old things in the house and running up against some painful memories.
I've just been absolutely dreading opening these boxes and going through these things because they're just kind of the things that I've had in the last couple of months and weeks with Liam. I opened this box. I'm really trying to pull it together right now. This dress was literally at the top of the box, and this dress actually brings me so much peace and comfort because the memory that me and Liam had in this dress was just a memory that I'll literally just never forget. And we went to this beautiful wedding. It was my very first wedding that I've ever attended. And oh my God, we just had the best time.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. She is going through it.
And there's going to be a lot of days like that, I'm sure.
By the way, they were discussing marriage. They were not.
Right.
Although I spoke with Roger Norris, and he sounded like they were about to.
Like they were going to.
Yeah. Okay.
Which makes it even sadder.
I know. We're going to take a break.
All right. When we come back, Will Smith on stage getting ready for his new world tour. Put on a show in Vegas. You're going to see it when we come back.
The TMZ Celebrity Tour located at the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood is available to charter for any occasion. Birthdays, work events, bar mitzvahs, Earth Day if that's still a thing. And chances are pretty dang good you're gonna spot a celeb, right, reality superstar Josh Altman?
You guys ever seen $1 Million Listing?
fly, just going.
So head to tmztour.com/charters to get the ball rolling on your customized Arbor Day tour now. What? Some people celebrate Arbor Day. TMZ Celebrity Tour!
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Will Smith going back to what started everything for him, his music. He has a world tour that's coming up and did sort of a warm-up show in Vegas last night and played the hits.
At the Hard Rock, I believe.
Yeah, was it the Hard Rock?
I think it was a Hard Rock.
No, not Hard Rock. House of Blues.
House of Blues.
House of Blues.
Sorry.
It's one of those, yeah.
You're right.
But listen, he's getting jiggy with it. Everybody loves that. This is, if you're Will Smith and you want people to just remember fun Will Smith,
this is it.
That's what you got to do.
This is a smart...
Little Wild Wild West.
Such a smart move. This is a really smart move on his part.
It is a brilliant move because that's what Will Smith is fully in the legacy phase of his career. Not that he can't still make new music. He has a new album coming out, his first in 20 years. He still makes new movies, but remind people why they loved you in the first place. Because you can make jokes about the slap or about his relationship with Jada or anything about Will Smith, but he plays Getting Jiggy With It and Men in Black and
you got to get up.
Wild Wild West, and you're like. And also the good thing for Will Smith is so many of those songs like Men in Black and Wild Wild West are tied into those movies. So you're like, oh, I remember loving the movie. I remember loving the song. I remember loving Will Smith because everybody does.
During the show, Will did take a moment to talk about what he describes as an emotional couple of years for him doing some soul searching. It is a not so subtle reference to everything that has happened to him in his life with Jada, the slap. But here's what he had to say about it.
You know, I had a couple of really powerful years of soul searching. I thought people wouldn't like me if they knew I was scared sometimes, right? If I was confused, if I was angry, you know. And I wrote the first verse of this song that night. From the first time the doctor placed you in my arms.
By the way, he also, during the show, took a moment to pay tribute to James Avery, who played Uncle Phil. He died back in 2013, but, Will has not had an opportunity on stage before this to really talk about that.
What's the status with him and Jada? They were separated.
They said that they were going to be moving back in together because they had been living in separate homes.
We haven't seen them together.
But we haven't seen them, but maybe no news is good news?
It's such a mysterious thing.
That relationship has always been mysterious,
Yeah.
so who knows?
My name is Brian from St. Louis, Missouri, and looking at Will Smith perform on that stage, you can tell that he has been eagerly waiting to be back on stage. And honestly, Will is one of the few artists who can seamlessly jump from movies to music to social media and still have people locked in. So I am looking forward to hearing this new music.
That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to move on.
All right, this is going to really surprise you, but there has been a new lawsuit filed.
Oh, no.
In the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively legal war.
I thought a baker's dozen was the max.
I think there is no limit. There's no cap on this. The latest one filed by Justin Baldoni against his, I guess you would say, estranged publicist, Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Jones is technically still his rep because there's a contract they have.
All right.
But basically they say in these documents that she's the one who started all of this because...
They've been saying this for a while.
Yes, and now they've actually filed a lawsuit against her saying that she went into the phone of one of her employees, that she was...
What is going...
And that's how all this information came out.
What is going on here? There are so many lawsuits that this will be millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in legal fees, and I don't get it.
He is getting his money's worth, and his attorney, Brian Friedman, by the way, in addition to filing that lawsuit, also had something to say about Blake Lively's motion to dismiss the lawsuit that she filed yesterday. And Brian Friedman believes she is abusing the legal system. He said Ms. Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. Wow. Stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves. Laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites.
Yeah, she's
to fit their own personal agenda.
she's not going to get this lawsuit dismissed. Nobody's going to get it dismissed. They're all questions for the jury. But Jason, I mean, what is going on here? I've never seen anything like this. Millions and millions and millions of dollars in legal fees for what?
Well, there's the old adage, right? In every litigation, there's only two people who win. That's
Lawyers.
the lawyers for each side, right? And that's really happening here because both of these parties are paying out of pocket, and the law, they're not doing great jobs and zealously advocating on behalf of their clients, which they should do.
But what's the end game? What's the end game for them?
But what is the end game? I mean, Justin Baldoni wants to rehabilitate his career and potentially get a huge judgment. I don't know why. I mean, Blake does not want to admit wrongdoing here, but that's what it's going to take, I think, to make this go away, right? Some sort of an admission of wrongdoing and a settlement payment. The money's easy. Ryan and Blake have all the money in the world. That part's easy. The hard part is somebody saying, my bad, I'm going to settle this thing.
Nobody's going to say that at this point.
Nobody's going to say that.
That's the problem. They can't now. They've pushed and pushed and pushed.
So now they're going to have depositions, which are going to be videotaped. Look, nobody is 100% clean in this thing. And, is there really going to be a winner? I mean, that's my question.
I mean,
is there going to be
already
a winner?
is no winner, right?
Right.
Even if you get the money
every day.
But I will say,
lawsuit.
What you were saying about how much money they're spending on lawyers.
Yeah.
Remember that the co-founder, I can't remember his name, the co-founder of Wayfarer Studios, is on record as saying, I will spend whatever is necessary to sue Blake Lively into oblivion. I think he's going to have to spend whatever is necessary.
Yeah, but Blake Lively has enough money to defend this. I mean, do they really want to go to court with something like this? I mean, does anybody win? I mean, there may be a judgment, but man, this is, I've never seen anything like this.
Madison, California. Honestly, this is giving the same energy as a kid who calls 911 with a made-up story for attention. But then once the police come, they start panicking. If you're going to make a serious allegation like this, I think that you should really back it up. And it's also worth noting that Lively filed this initial lawsuit in New York, where It Ends With Us was filmed, but her motion to withdraw was in California, which makes all of this even more questionable because the laws in California don't apply to the same laws in New York.
Her motion to dismiss was actually filed in federal court in New York, and I believe it was the Southern District. So.
Honest to God. Taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Tesla under fire now from all sorts of boycotts. Target is also getting it. All sorts of companies under boycott now. Is it actually working? Are the people who are out there marching, who are waving flags and banners, do they actually make a difference? We are going to follow the money, because that's the answer, right? This is all about money. Damon John's going to be here to follow the money on boycotts when we come back. Boycotts. Big talk about boycotts. A lot of different boycotts. Obviously, you've heard a lot about the Tesla boycotts that have been going on around the country. But there are several other companies that are facing economic boycotts now as a means of political pressure.
Not the first time.
No, not the first time. But it did make us think, do these things actually work?
This is really interesting.
Can you get their attention with these boycotts?
This is really interesting.
You got to follow the money, and that means we're bringing in our buddy Damon John from Shark Tank. Damon, welcome back. Let's follow the boycott money.
Well, the boycott money is real. I mean, we all know about the legendary boycotts that Martin Luther King did, and peaceful, and it did change things. But just like anything, it's all about community and culture. If you get great community behind you and great culture behind a business, you're going to skyrocket. If you get them against you for a long term, it actually can make a significant difference. Let's talk about that February 28th. Target. Numbers on their website was down 9% year to date. Now that could be the different change of retail, but that's what happened. And of course, foot traffic was down 7% year to date. Tesla has lost 40% of its value. They have had to wipe off $500 billion worth of their value. These are organized boycotts that are happening to be working. But the rest of those, if you're not continuous with it, it's not going to help. You have to have a very strong, continuous voice, and you have to go the long distance with it, and it will work. And I can get into in a minute why it will work and how it will further help people who really have a cause.
So it's just emblazoned in my head. When I was in college, there was a huge boycott and a hugely successful one with Cesar Chavez and the California farm workers, where a lot of young people boycotted grapes and wine. And it really had an impact. But the difference between then and now is, I remember back then, we used to have demonstrations on the college campus and whatnot, but there was no social media back then. So you relied on television and newspapers to fuel it.
So it should be more effective now.
It should be way more effective now because social media, you can just blast it out in a second.
Right. So here's your challenge, right? Just like you can do one, 900 people could do one. Right. So now you have too many people doing it. However,
that's true.
Why will it be more effective? I'll tell you why. And it has nothing to do with the actual boycotting of the company. It has something to do with the greed of Wall Street if you're doing this and it's a public company. What they call the bears in Wall Street, they bet against the market. As soon as they hear that a decent boycott is going down, they're going to short the stock. They couldn't care what the boycott's about. They're going to short the stock so they can make money as the stock goes down, and it'll fuel more of that. So if you have a well-organized one for the right reason, if they feel that it's going to go the long way, Wall Street's going to jump in, then the big company's going to feel in their pocket. So I hate to say it, it still becomes follow the money.
So let's talk about what an effective boycott is. I mean, if you get regime change at the company, that's clearly effective. But what if you just sort of knock the company down off its perch? Like Tesla right now is the best-selling car in California.
Still?
So, well, I haven't seen the latest number like right now, but it has been for the last 2 years. So if you make Tesla the number 3 car in California, would you say that's effective?
If anybody moves from number 1 to number 3, they could still be in business. But if you're losing $500 billion as Tesla moving from number 1 to number 2 or 3, and you're letting these people, these other new companies come in and say, we'll do it. You know, Avis and Hertz had a legendary battle. Hertz was number 1. Avis said, we'll try harder. And what happened is they started to move into position number 1. So this is definitely effective if done the right way. At the end of the day, the consumer wins because now they start to say, we want to buy you instead of this. Tesla, you probably can get them on a really great steep discount right now. End of the day, that boycott may have affected you in a very positive way. They're going to have to get rid of that inventory.
Yeah,
right?
except.
When you buy it.
Yeah, when you buy it, all of a sudden you're a target because people are getting their cars vandalized. They're getting flipped off at stoplights. People are vandalizing the cars. So this is a different one.
You're right. And that is something else that you have to decide. But I'm just showing how the follow the money can positively affect you. Yes, if you really believe in it, well, you don't want to short it, push it down, and then say, well, now I don't believe against my, my beliefs because now I get it on discount. You really don't want to do that because all of a sudden then you're going to be the one boycotted. But it's all about how you really follow the money.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so
I like this today.
They work in different degrees. You just decide what your goal is.
And so if you're a person, if you believe in boycotting something to stand up for something you believe in, make sure you're not part of an organization that's doing it for frivolous reasons. They're on to this and that because people are looking at you to say, what do you really believe in? Because at the end of the day, your boycott's going to show up the next time you get hired someplace, the community, and various other things. So make sure you're
That's a really good point, Damon. That's a great point.
You got to stand on business.
You got to stand up for something you believe in because understand, you're not just affecting them, you're affecting your legacy as well.
That's a great point.
Excellent point. All right. Excellent, Damon.
Have a good
weekend.
Thank you
very much, man. We'll see you next time. All right.
All right. Peace.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Excellent final point there by Damon.
Viva la raza. I remember that. Okay.
I wish that hadn't happened.
We're going to take a break.
When we come back, Abbott Elementary creator and star Quinta Brunson getting divorced. And there's something interesting about the agreement that she has with her now estranged husband. We'll tell you when we come back. Quinta Brunson, the star of Abbott Elementary, creator of Abbott Elementary, has had quite the ride. I mean, her show is so celebrated. She's won so many awards, all deserved. Hit a little bump in the road, at least personally. Career-wise, she's doing great, but she and her husband are calling it quits. She actually filed for divorce. Kevin Onick is her husband. They've been together they've been married 3.5 years.
Here's the weird thing about this. They have what we call in the law a postnup, and that means they did not have a prenuptial agreement when they got married. But at some point after they got married, and I am assuming it's when that show became a big hit,
Somebody
got
in her ear, a lawyer
said,
probably.
We got to have one of these things which kind of acts as a prenup, but you got to sign it now. That's a tough conversation.
That's a tough conversation, but not really when you're a sales manager and your wife is putting on and producing and writing one of the biggest shows on cable network at the time. So if he really loved her, I'm sure it was nothing for him to sign the paper.
Oh, no, that's not the case. What you say is...
Go on, that conversation, like how does that go?
Yeah.
She comes home one night from a shoot and she's like, you ever heard of these things called a postnup?
Yeah, we had this thing called what's mine is yours and yours is mine. No, what's mine is mine. That's what we're going to do.
How do you guys know that? Okay, let's just say one night she's been nominated 9 times for an Emmy for this show. How do you guys know that one night when she got nominated, he didn't come home and was like, you know what, babe? I want to sign a postnuptial agreement to make sure that you know that I am here for you and not because you're getting all this fame. How do you guys know he wasn't the one that initiated it?
Because he didn't.
It is absolutely possible, but it is not plausible.
No. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hey, this is Patrick Communius from Arizona, and I want to talk about Sean Lowe and what we can learn from him about being good rescue dog owners, because this is his 3rd bite, so he's trying. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but instead of getting rid of the dog, he did the responsible thing, and he made sure he went to a no-kill shelter, and they're taking care of it. So I think we can learn a lot from him. Good on him.
That's what he wants to happen?
Yeah, we don't know.
We're trying to get an update from him.
One more.
Hi, this is Inemesit from Toronto, and I'm here to talk about how 50 Cent and Kanye West are clearly craving some sort of a reaction from Jay-Z, and it's really sad that they're letting this jealousy pull them so low as to involve innocent kids in this.
To be fair to 50, he didn't actually say anything about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, and he was, in his way, whether it's effective or not, trying to tell Kanye, stop doing that also.
You might as well talk to the wind. Taking a break.
When we come back, Pete Davidson's got someone new to talk to, although they don't seem to be doing a lot of talking on the beach. Gonna see where he's hanging out with his new girlfriend, Elsie. You gotta love it when Pete Davidson is in that headspace where he's just loving life. Because we know that he's gone through a lot of struggles, but right now...
When he's loving life, he's loving life.
He is down on the beach with his new girlfriend, Elsie Hewitt.
Boy, he's got a lot of work to do because he's removing tattoos. He's
still got a lot of tattoos.
But speaking of not tattoos...
Wow. Pete and Elsie seem very, very happy. I think I understand why.
Gosh.
Life's been good.
Yeah. But
way to go, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, Pete is the envy of lots and lots of men around these United States of America. Have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday.